Welcome to the AI for All podcast. I'm Charlie Yielding,
And I'm Shauna Sprague.
and we're here to show you how to automate and make your life easier with AI so you can use that extra time to do things that bring you joy.
Well, thanks. That's going to be fun today. Well, we're going to go over 3 must-have plugins, and we already have a video out on FemLogic AI about this. But Charlie, I want to show you some plugins that will make your life much easier. How does that sound?
It sounds pretty good. Are you talking about plugins for GPT?
Yeah, ChatGPT Plugins. So just to be clear, the plugins are only available in the ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version, and that's at the time of this filming. They change daily, so who knows?
Yeah, this is GPT-4 is definitely one of those subscription things that I feel is a must these days.
Yeah. I mean, for the $20 a month that I'm paying, I'm way getting my money's worth
same.
out of that. I use it every day, sometimes all day long. So let's start with Instacart.
Okay.
So Instacart is a great plugin. So I know this has happened to you before. You've been like, oh, what are we going to have for dinner? Trying to figure that out, right? And then you're like, well, I think we have pasta, but I don't think we have anything else, right? So you can go in here and enable the Instacart plugin. And you can say, I always wanted to make my own fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
So let's see, how do I make fettuccine Alfredo? And I'll say, and make me a list of ingredients.
So I'm not going to lie. I already use Instacart for this type of thing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, this is when I found this, I was like, this is awesome. So Instacart is running, it's pulling together all this stuff. And what Instacart is doing is it's actually creating us a list of all the things. And so what I love about this thing is it's going to give me all the things I need to make fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
And then I can go in and I can say, okay, well, I have noodles at home. So I'm good. I don't need that. But I do need some kind of, I need the, butter, and I need all these Parmesan, and I need all these other things that I'm going to need for my fettuccine Alfredo. And so
Heavy
then you can
cream.
just immediately add it to the cart, and then Instacart takes care of it and it's delivered to your door. So, I mean, that's pretty fantastic for me, because that's the worst part about me is walking through the grocery store trying to figure out all the things and find all the stuff. And so I feel like that's a really cool tool.
So I've actually changed the way that I use or the way that I grocery shop since I've started doing this, because I used to grocery shop on Sundays, and I'd make my list or make my menu, then make my list, and then go to the store, and it was hours and hours of work. But then I started doing the GPT stuff where I'd say, give me 4 meals, 1 pasta, 1 chicken, 1 vegetarian, and it'll do that. And I tell it for 4, obviously. And so it'll do that, and then I'll say, it actually asks me when I have the Instacart plugin, do you want a list? And then I click the link, and like you said, I go in and I select the things I've got, and sometimes I have to change ingredients to something I prefer, but it saves me hours and hours every Sunday. But now I do the daily stuff, and I'm on the cusp of getting an Instacart account, like a pro account or whatever, because if I don't want to pay the fee for them bringing me stuff every day, but if they're bringing me fresh food every day, then it seems like the best way to go.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth it if you're getting things delivered. I just don't have the time to go to the store, and it just saves me. And I do feel like I spend less money when I have the Instacart account, because when I go to the store, I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, and I'll start throwing stuff in the cart, or there's a new brand of cookies, which I don't need cookies, and I clearly know that, but I still will throw the cookies in the bag. So, so now I'm like, okay, this limits me. And so I feel like I actually spend less money when I have an Instacart or a Prime Delivery or whatever delivery service bringing me the food. So
That's cool.
That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I love it, and wouldn't be able to do the things I do now without it, on Sundays at least.
All right, well, let's go on to the next plugin here. So the next plugin I have is Expedia. And so I think Expedia is really cool. I am always the person that has to plan our vacations. Are you the vacation planner, Charlie?
I'm not. I'm the person that shows up ready to do whatever. But I don't complain if it's not what I want to do, because I didn't plan.
That's a good philosophy.
I'm a gracious sheep on vacations.
That's a great philosophy to have. Yeah, I'm the planner. I do have a couple of friends who are planners as well, so that's nice when I can just show up. But usually I'm the person that has to make the accommodations. But I love this Expedia. Kayak also works as well. But you can say and I use it a lot when I go to Europe or places that I'm not familiar with. So if you're planning a trip to Germany, I would would say,
You just did this too, right?
yeah, so we did. We planned a trip to Europe, and so I want to know an itinerary. I have a 10-year-old, and I want to know what does a 10-year-old want to do in Europe. So specifically when we were in Barcelona, what are some cool things that we could do? And so I just go in here and I say, we are taking a family trip. I spelled taking wrong, but that's okay.
It'll get it anyways.
Yeah, family trip to Barcelona, and we need an itinerary for a 10-year-old and 2 adults. I'm going to say include kid-friendly food, so that's always an issue with us.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a very picky eater, so trying to find, when we're in other countries and the food is different, that's always a challenge.
Yeah.
But so I want to include kid-friendly meals and activities.
I imagine traveling in Europe with a picky eater is not the most fun thing to do.
No, I mean we cater to it too much. It's totally our fault that this way. But yeah, it is a challenge. And so she's just learned that if you're not going to eat what everybody else is eating, you have to wait until we're done eating, and then we'll feed you something. We'll find you something. So
I like that.
And she does have to try things. So we make her try things.
Yeah, my kids have to try things too. If they don't like it, it's fine, but they have to try it before they say they don't like it.
Yeah. And so in my Expedia here, it's showing us here that we have a luxurious stay. It's giving me hotel options. I did not give it dates or any kind of information like that. So it did give me here's some, options. It gave me some price ranges. So that's nice. And I say, okay, I want to stay at this eco-friendly hotel that's for a choice for families. And it's the Arc La Ramba.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah. I'm going to say the Arc de Roma Hotel, and I'm going to say June 5th through, I'm going to say the 12th, 2024. All right, let's see what it comes up with. And so now it's going to I've given it more information. So you can actually plan your entire trip with this. And it'll, I even go in and say, okay, well, plan out our daily activities. We want to do one activity in the day. We prefer to do activities in the morning and then have the afternoons free to kind of explore whatever area we're in. And so that's what I'll tell it to do. And so it'll list out the activities. I love how it also gives us the links here for here's how here's where you buy all the tickets.
Yeah.
When we were in Barcelona, everything's in Spanish, actually it's a derivative of Spanish.
It's a Pidgin language.
Yes, it is.
Between that and Italian, right?
Yeah, we do have some Spanish speaking skills, but not so we had to learn. It was a challenge there. But fortunately, a lot of people spoke English and they were able to help us out. But we were able to utilize a lot of this information here by when it was telling us, and these little tidbits and tricks are very helpful when you don't know where you're going and you're in another country. And the last thing I want is to end up somewhere where people are like, oh, this is just a tourist trap, don't go there.
Okay, so if you're a planner,
yes,
then GPT with an Expedia or Kayak plugin is a must.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Okay.
Tons of time saved. You can spend hours on the internet, searching around. This brought up a bunch of stuff, especially one of my daughter's must-haves at most hotels is a pool. I think most kids want a pool.
Yeah. We always go for a pool.
Pool. Must have pool.
Preferably indoor.
Yeah, preferably indoor so you don't have to worry about the weather. But, stuff like that. So, yeah, very, very useful plugin. So I'm a big fan.
Well, what's the last plugin then?
All right. So the last plugin I like here is this Ask Your PDF. And so we had talked about this earlier, Charlie, about Ask Your PDF. And so I really like how you could just give it a link to a PDF and it'll tell you. And so I will go find a link to a PDF here, and I'm going to say.
So is Ask Your PDF pretty link friendly? Because I was mentioning to you before, the one I use is not.
Yes. So this particular PDF thing, I found that it works really well. So I'll say the PDF of, let's see, normal distribution. That sounds very, very important here.
Yeah.
And so you do have to link to, so I'm going to link out here to this website with this and I'm going to say, I'm going to say, write me a simple solution. A simple explanation of normal distribution, which is something that I probably could not. And I'm going to paste in this link. So I'm not telling ChatGPT that I want to, use that plugin. It's going to automatically assign it and start using it. So that's great. So then it just automatically goes out to ask your PDF. It's going to go out to the link, and then it's going to pull back a summary of what. And so you can actually interact with your PDF. So I find this very useful when you're talking about anything like somebody sends you a 40-some page report. I don't know about you, but my time is limited.
Yeah.
I'm going to skim over the 40-some page report, but there's details I want to know. And so that's what I'm doing is I'm going in for those details. And so,
I've been taking research papers and loading them up and then asking them instead of going straight through the paper start to finish, I ask them like what are the conclusions, what methods did they use, and all the stuff like all the high points, and that way I don't have to read through the jargon and all the extra stuff. And it helps me get to a point much quicker where I'm like, okay, now I can invest real time in this research. Or it's like, it's not relevant. So.
Yeah. And in a work environment, like when somebody hands you a business case, like you can, I'm looking for, like, is it I'm looking for specific things. Does it tell me like, what's the total cost of the project? How many years is the project? Things like that. When's the project start date? And so if any of that information is missing, I can immediately go back and be like, it's missing these things. And so then I also automate that with Zapier, but
we'll get to that later.
All right. Well, I think that's enough on our must-have plugins here.
Yeah.
So hopefully it makes your life a little easier.
Yeah. Again, that's the point of the show.
Yeah.
If you like what you hear, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, which is Data for All and FemLogic.ai. Well, I guess it's not FemLogic.ai. It's just FemLogic AI on the YouTubes. And so a lot of the stuff that we did today, like we kind of glossed over, like how you get to the plugins, how you install the plugins. But Shauna's got you covered on the FemLogic side of things because that's where she does the deep dive videos to help you get from literally scratch to getting the job done.
Yeah, you don't have to be a technical expert in any way. Just come watch the video and we'll walk you through like signing up for an account and getting everything set up.
All right. Well, anything else?
Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for joining me.
Until next time then.
All right.